finished wiping his hand. "No, you are still nervous," his sister murmured. "Brother, I do not understand how you can still be so timid even after we've made it down so far. For your God's sake, perhaps it would be best if you make this your first and last expedition and retire to missionary life." "Perhaps I shall," the healer said quietly, dropping his hand to his side. The silence continued for a time as the four continued to make their way through the tunnel. At the next turn, the mage noticed that the flame on the torch was starting to run low. "That's the last torch, isn't it? Here, let me cast a mage light," she offered. "Don't do it," the warrior interrupted, eyes never leaving the front. "While it may require us to suffer the darkness, better to save your mana for when it's most needed. We're 32 floors down and should be coming up to our goal at any time. Even though we've rested a few times, best you do not harm yourself in the long run." "Not to mention," the leather-clad woman continued roughly, though not with any malice, "there are a few traps here in the lower levels that only respond to mana usage. I don't have any more potions if you run out by healing yourself or someone else. Your brother hasn't been the most reliable source of healing this trip." The healer shut his mouth and blushed awkwardly as his sister glared at the woman ahead, who ignored him completely as she scanned the edges of light for signs of anything. The warrior sighed silently. The quest they'd taken required a rare regent from a fungal plant found only on the last set of floors, and the pair had recruited this set of siblings as backup just for this mission. It was clear to any observer that the boy was green, and that he and his sister were new to the game. Though the group had survived 31 difficult floors, the group dynamics hadn't improved. The atmosphere had only worsened with every fight, mostly due to the priest's occasional spell failure, which led to the mage and rogue arguing. The warrior had long since grown tired of settling those disputes. The warrior had ignored the fighting, instead keeping an eye out for traps and ambushes. Even with the warrior's eyes covered by the full helm, years of training and experience had honed the senses into a fine-tuned machine. Every drop of sweat, every twist and tug of the rope, and every nervous twitter was smelled and heard. The two siblings were too green for this mission, yet they had no choice but to be here. For some reason or another, teamwork didn't require knowing another's life story. At least none that the previous 31 floors had opted to conjure up. "Heads up, eyes out," the woman in leather whispered sharply, holding a fist up. The warrior froze immediately, right foot dangling right above the ground. The siblings weren't as quick and stumbled backward as the leather-clad woman whipped her arms back and hit them. "Hey, what was that for?" the mage cried out in anger. "Death trap," the woman responded simply. "While I don't mind you and your brother learning from experience, it's a different story for my partner." The warrior, still frozen, let out a grunt of what sounded like appreciation. "I see no trap, though," the healer murmured under his breath, honest and pure, a disgusting quality to possess in life or death situations. "Doesn't mean it isn't there," his sister muttered in reply. "Not the first time she saved us this way. She's pretty good, for a thief." "Rogue, not thief," the woman corrected as she dropped down onto her toes and fingertips. "Thievery is a profession, thief is an occupation, and rogue is a class. Remember that. Last time I'll warn you, otherwise you'll step on a lot of toes, greenhorns." As if to illustrate her point, and her dexterity, the woman carefully walked on all fours over to the warrior, carefully laying herself to the ground, eyes staring intently ahead. With her left hand, she reached into a pocket and pulled out a yellow rock. Moving with precision and care, The rogue pushed the rock.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.